this lesson I've titled "You're Invited" because right around Thanksgiving, Bunny made a post on Facebook, and this was it. Want to encounter Jesus this holiday season? Invite him to your party. And that caught my attention, and I just couldn't quit thinking about it because I thought, do we invite him to our party? Probably not. We're stressing about all the stuff that we have to do to get ready. Um, but then I just kept thinking about it. Do I invite him beyond my party? Where do I invite him into my everyday? And so it made me think about Luke 2:7. And she brought forth her firstborn son and wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in a manger because there was no room for them in the inn. And so I thought, do I invite him in or do I not? Because I don't make room for him. And so I just kept thinking about all of the times that I should invite him in and just that, am I making room for him? And I'll I'll show you how it all kind of transpired. But Bunny's coming into the meeting now, and so I have to back up just for her. Let's see if I can figure out how to back up. So, Bunny, my lesson is called You're Invited because you posted this around Thanksgiving or right after that. And I just kept thinking about inviting him to my party, inviting him to my everyday. Do I invite him in? And then that made me think about Luke 2:7, where there was no room for them in the inn. And I've learned over the years that our typical Christmas card picture of what the manger scene probably looked like is not always accurate. The stable typically was part of the home. The living quarters would be upstairs, and then downstairs they would have the animals so that they could keep them safe, keep them protected. That's one of the reasons that, finding a lamb that had no blemish, they would bring those little sheep into their family, and they loved them. And it makes me think about our goats and how fond we are of them and how they become pets. And then to have to give them up as a sacrifice would be so hard. But um, when they were looking for an inn, I remember when I was a kid and we would do the Christmas play, we would have someone going up almost like an innkeeper at a hotel. But it wasn't like that. It was just people would open up their homes and give their extra space for travelers coming through. And a lot of times it would be family that they would stay with. And it probably wasn't that they didn't want them there. It wasn't that the innkeeper was harsh and sending them away out into the elements, but the home was probably so crowded. And, when you're about to give birth, you probably want a little more privacy than that. And so I just like to think that, they were able to go down into the stable part of that home where it was quiet and peaceful. And that's where Jesus was born. And the mangers, we actually had a traveling exhibit of artifacts in our area, and our church ladies went, and we saw an actual manger like the one here in the picture. And there isn't a lot of wood in that area, so most things are made of stone. Wood is hard to come by, and so they would actually, carve out of stone an indention for the water and the feed. And so that is probably more like what baby Jesus was laid in than the straw filled wooden box that we put in our front yards. And so making room, making room. When I think about it at Christmas, what is it that crowds out me being able to make room for him? And not so much now, because especially this year, I have let a lot of things go, and I'm just trying to um, rest more and de-stress. But I think of over the years when my boys were growing up and all of the activities that we had to do, there would be parties and get-togethers, some at church, some at school, some with friends. There would be all of the traditional baking and cooking and cookie exchanges and making gifts or baked goods for the neighbors, and um, then finding the Santas that we could get pictures with and decorating. And I would put a tree in every room and um, just really enjoyed that. But then there was the shopping and trying to find the right gift for every person. Um, and when I look back, did I make room for him like I should? No. Um, and so I want to be more mindful to make room for him and invite him in consciously. Let's set a place for him at our table because it is his birthday party, and make that the center of attention. And so that's part of what I've been thinking about. But then it went even further. Do I make room for him when I'm fearful? Do I invite him in to my fears? Do I invite him in to my health issues? Do I invite him in to my broken heart? When I'm disappointed, when um, when all of the celebrations and the traditions don't go as planned and things aren't going to happen as we would like, do I invite him in to be a part of what I do get to do, my friendships and those types of things? And then I thought, do I invite him into my everyday, just doing chores, making the bed? Um, and Mom said the other day, I don't know if it was at the end of our last lesson, but just being conscious that he is with us when we're doing our laundry and when we're doing the dishes. And it makes it so much more enjoyable. And when we think about the fact that we get to do those things because we have a family and we have a home, then that gratitude bubbles up and we want to invite him in. So this lesson is short, but I just want us through this holiday season to think about inviting him to our parties, inviting him into our Christmas traditions and celebrations, and inviting him in to the things that we're dealing with every single day. And so these verses came to mind. Psalm 27:8. My heart has heard you say, come and talk with me. And my heart responds, Lord, I'm coming. And then James 4:8, draw near to God and he will draw near to you. And so as we're inviting him in, we're drawing him in. And it made me think of our lesson about witness. He wants nothing more than to be with us when we're driving, when we're doing all of the things, when we're picking out our Christmas gifts, all of those things he wants to be invited to be a part of. And it made me think about, when my daughters-in-law want to do something with me, when they want to include me in their life, how good that feels. And it's not that I need it. It's not that I need them to fill my time. But that feels good. And you think about your friendships, your close friendships, when they just want to go out and eat lunch and catch up, how good that feels. And it has to be the same way with him, wanting that invitation to come and dwell with us in just the most mundane things that we do. So my journal idea was I want a picture of the manger scene to remind me of what it looked like, and the fact that they could have made room upstairs, but that wasn't part of God's plan. Um, and then I want a home, a little house that will represent my home, and a welcome sign that represents inviting him in. And so this little tutorial video, if you can watch it, it's about an hour long, but the lady shows you how to make these really cute little houses. And so I watched part of it, and I'm going to show you kind of the idea behind it. And if you want to watch that video, you can, but if not, you can do similar to what I'm doing. And I'm going to have the doors open and the windows open so that I can look inside. And then it will be a pocket underneath that roof that I can write down. I'm thinking of just writing it as a letter, like an invitation to my party, but just writing down all of the things that's going on in my life that I want to invite him in. Okay, then down here at the bottom, I didn't link the video to making this, but the lady that made these little whimsical houses, her YouTube channel is called Treasure Books, and she does all kinds of cute things, junk journal related. So if you wanted to make a whimsical house like this one, look up Treasure Books and then just search whimsical house and it'll pop up. So I'll show you my ideas. I've not gotten too far along with it. So to make those little houses with the flip up roof, you take an envelope, and this is one I received this week. It's a bigger one, but a small. She uses just a regular business size envelope, and that'll work fine. A legal envelope. So the first thing I did was cut down the side on both sides of my envelope so that it will fold over the amount of space I wanted the roof to be. So fold that over first and then cut down about, what is that? Half an inch maybe beyond the fold line. So cut down a half inch past that. And then your inside flap, you'll fold down to that point. And then I glued this down. So I glue that flap down after you've cut down the sides. Otherwise, it's hard to get inside there. Now, if you wanted to make your roof angled, like a little pitch roof, you could go ahead and cut these corners off, but I'm going to leave mine big or wide. Okay, at this point, you cut this flap off all the way down to that line. Now, the reason you did that, you have a little space so that you can get your hand in there to get out whatever you put in your pocket. That will become your pocket. And this will be your roof. So I cut out a piece of paper. This is just a piece of coffee dyed paper or tea dyed paper. And I cut it out the size of the front of the house. And I'll glue that down that quick. Glue that on. And then you can go around the back and trim it up if you want to, but it doesn't matter, really. Then I took just some scrap paper and I measured it just a tiny bit bigger than that flap. And the lady in the video, she just cut scalloped edges to create a little awning, and hers are so cute. So I was just in a rush and didn't want to spend that much time on it. So I used a piece of rickrack. I'm going to glue that on. And that creates my little roof and awning. Then I made a door out of scrap paper. And the more colors and everything you have going on, especially in hers, if you go back and look at that picture, she just has a lot going on. She has some book pages on some of them as her roof, and it just turned out really cute. So I used a blue with yellow on the background. And then this was some scrap paper I had, and I thought, that gold shining through, it makes me think of a light on the inside of the house. So I made 2 little windows, and I plan to create a grid on my windows. And a doorknob. So then I'm going to glue those on. I'm going to create a little welcome sign out here. I haven't done that yet. It's going to be there. These remind me of the little houses I drew as a child. I'm sure you all did too, with the little chimney and the little, almost looks like a face. So I'll have a chimney up here too, but I'm going to glue the chimney down flat because I don't want it to be attached to this and then have to bend and get caught. So it'll be attached to the page. And then here's the pocket. You see, I still have the pocket. Now I'm cutting this out. I'm going to cut around my windows and door. And I'm using this little cutting mat. You could use scissors or a razor blade, just any type of cutting tool, maybe something that cuts wallpaper. That would work also. And I'm just going to cut. Well, I've got to let that dry a little bit more. Do my door first. Just going to cut all the way around it. Now that's going to open up. You'll see that these pages are still, where I didn't put glue inside my envelope. You'll have to glue those down at this point. And now I'm going to have that little door that will open so that I can see what's inside underneath. When I glue my house down, my door will open up, and this is where I can write. I may write my verses here. And then I'm going to put my invitation, inviting God into my everyday down inside my little house. And then I went through, I keep all my old Christmas cards or Christmas cards that, you get those in the mail free from St. Jude and different places. But I tried to find cards that represented Jesus' birth. And while these don't depict it accurately, they are cute and they're the only ones I had. So I may use something like this, and I'm going to put it on the other page. So I'm going to create one page that's going to represent no room in the inn, and the other is going to represent inviting him in and making room in every situation. So I hope you gals will give this little whimsical house a chance and create a pocket, because it's so cute and it's so fun and it's such a great reminder to me. And I'm thankful for Bunny for posting that little picture, because it really has just been going through my mind over and over and over again.